Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about the Ultimatum Season 2, Episode 5.
Yeah, we get into it, but before we do, like, comment, share, subscribe, all the above. Mm-hmm. We need all your views. We need all your comments. We need all your likes. We need all your subscriptions so it can help grow our platform so we can continue to do this for you. Mm-hmm. For us first, because we like watching these shows.
Yeah.
But we like sharing our opinion to you all. Thank you.
Yeah, and discussing. We want to hear what y'all have to say. So, we start off with Roxanne and Alex, and they are meeting Roxanne's parents. Alex is expressing that he wants to be married, but he's just not ready for marriage yet, and he doesn't quite understand why he's not ready. Alex's parents really liked Roxanne a lot, so that meeting went well, and that's something Roxanne's parents were interested in hearing.
Yeah.
And Roxanne's parents, they've been married for 38 years, and they knew that they were 100% committed to each other, and they were saying that you just really need to be engaged with each other. Well, no, you need to be engaged with the family and ready to have conversation. Like if the family comes by or you're spending time with the parents, like don't be on your phone. Don't be in another room watching TV. Like really be engaged in the people around you.
What do they got to do with the marriage?
Well, they feel like it's important for families to get along as well. So you need to be respectful of parents and all of that as well. So it's not just between you and your partner, but it's also about the family dynamic.
That's not wrong, but that's like number 55 on like the list of 100. like I'm thinking they give me like at least the top 10 of things to do of how to have a successful relationship or a successful marriage. Not make sure when I come over you talk to me. Like I'm thinking like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not wrong, but like we can get to that.
Yeah.
That can be fixed on the spot. You know what I'm saying? You're not really giving me no secrets here.
Yeah.
So like that was strange, but hey, I feel y'all.
Yeah.
I feel y'all.
And Roxanne says like they both agree that they want a big family. I think she said like in the double digits they could have 12 if money wasn't an issue or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and Alex really likes her because she challenges him, and that's something that he struggled with Kat was being challenged. The dad is asking about kind of how chivalrous Alex is, if he pulls the chair out, if he opens the doors. And I feel like Alex, he responds to things without thinking all the way. Or maybe he just wants to come across a certain way. Because he says like, oh yeah, I definitely do that. I do that. And Roxanne is like, you don't pull no chair out for me. You don't open no doors for me. And I don't think you did it in your last relationship. He's like, well, that's something I can work on. So
first of all,
Roxanne later says, like, there's always some little white lies, disingenuous moments with Alex. He's not always completely real.
First of all, Roxanne, you failed the test. If I lie in front of the parents, you go with the lie.
Okay.
If I say like, yeah, I do that, I pull out your chair. If you say that I don't pull out your chair, I'm going to pull the chair out from you right now.
Okay.
And
I'm going to be on the floor.
You're going to be on the floor.
Okay.
And I'm like, see, I pull chairs. Like, okay. Like you ain't got to, listen here, it's the first time I'm trying to put a good impression and things like that. You ain't got to expose me like that. You know what I'm saying? In the car, you could just be like, hey, I just don't want you to be a liar. Just pull my chair out.
Don't be lying to my parents.
Exactly.
Open the car door right now.
Exactly. But at the moment, defend your man, your fake trial marriage man. You get what I'm saying?
No, I'm glad she called him out because that's weird to be lying over something like that.
Listen, I'd rather lie about that than lie about something big. I mean, Roxanne lying. We all lying. You get what I'm saying? But continue.
Yeah, and Dad also wants to know if Alex would marry himself. And he answers that he would, and he shares some reasons of, him being ambitious and driven and financially stable and, just gives all the reasons why he would marry himself. And the dad said that, you answered that pretty good, and he thinks that they could possibly be good for a long-term relationship.
I don't like any of these. I'm going to use real life to this fake TV show. I don't like meeting parents. And when I say meeting parents, I mean, I don't like being grilled by parents because I'm like, what do you expect me to say? Yeah. I'm going to say all the bad answers. I'm going to say all the wrong answers.
But some people do. Some people just be a-holes.
Listen here, man. I never met someone unless they was on the spectrum of saying all the wrong answers purposely and stuff like that. Like, if you ask him, will he marry himself? He ain't gonna say, no, I'm a terrible guy.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's going to say, like, of course I'd marry me. And then he gonna list all the positive things about him.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't gonna talk about how he just lied just 2 minutes ago about pulling the chair out. He ain't gonna say, I'm a liar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He gonna list all the good things about him. So, like, one lie leads to another lie because it comes from a dumb question. So the father say, can you marry yourself? And then that's when, Alex give this big lie. And then that's when the parents in them line like, oh, I see y'all good for each other in this first meeting that I see. It's just like everybody's lying at the table.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just, look, I understand. But like you said in the previous episode, I don't see the spark between these two people. They are just relating to what they do in their work life and things like that. But they are not relating to anything
romantically.
They're not relating to anything to each other.
Not sure, even personally.
Like, it's just like, oh, I love it that we work. We work. He work in one room, I work in the other room. It's just so cool. But there's nothing about him and nothing about her besides she challenges me. That is so vague. I don't even know what that means. Like, I don't understand if y'all start in a dance challenge whenever you walk in the room or something like that. Like, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It's so vague. It's so hollow. It's just empty.
Yeah.
It's just empty, but continue.
Yeah. Next, we have Ryan and Trey.
What's up,
and
Trey?
They are meeting Ryan's brother and the brother's girlfriend.
Okay.
And Ryan, she really just wants what's best for herself in this process. And if James were to fall in love with somebody else or not want to be with her at the end, she's come to the point of understanding that would be okay and she'll be okay regardless. Yeah. And the friend asks if... pretty much like it's an insult that James hasn't proposed yet. It's
an insult.
Yeah. That it's been 7 years. Ryan is as stable, has put him first, all of this type of stuff. And she feels like just seeing Ryan with Trey is just like a whole new Ryan. And Trey really thinks that him and Ryan are the same and similar in a lot of their values and just how they operate. And it's really just been easy for them, this trial marriage. And essentially, they're both ready for marriage. They're both ready.
Okay. Is it an insult? Maybe. They are still young, but like you said, depending on where you're from, it may be a different societal rule or like a societal expectation to be with somebody. Like, James, if you didn't want to marry her, you should have broke up with her year 4.
Yeah. You
get what I'm saying? Like, I think it's more insulting to keep her, to not dump her. You get what I'm saying? Because trust me, I'm sure Ryan talk about marriage and you probably just be like, oh no, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. That's insulting.
Yeah.
When she probably brought up in year 5 and now it's year 7. You get what I'm saying? So, I can see why they feel that way towards James, right? His name James, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, they've been together for 7 years. So, in my opinion, I don't even think... Because even then, I could see Trey falling for Ryan. I don't even think they are a good couple.
Ryan, I don't feel like feels that way towards Trey.
I think she really do love James. And she's patient with James.
Yeah.
But, and Trey is just experiencing... a relationship with no resistance.
Yeah.
And truth be told, it could have been anybody. And because he experienced so much resistance in his relationship, anybody who didn't give him no resistance in any trial marriage
would have been a nice break.
He would have fell for that person.
Yeah.
Because he would have been like, I ain't know life could be like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, shout out to them.
Next, it is the guys' night. And Trey's initially talking and saying that it's about learning about yourself in this process. And most of the guys express that they've really opened up a lot more.
Okay.
And James felt like there's always been a wall between him and Ryan, but mostly because Ryan doesn't know everything about his past. He hasn't let her in to fully know him. So he feels like that's the wall that's there and giving it a hard time for them to move forward in their relationship. And he expresses the first 3 days living with Raya were good. Everything else has been bad. And he even says that Raya is open to sex, but that really was not the conversation they had. Trey received a call from Raya saying that she thinks that James wants to have sex with her. Or James thinks that she wants to have sex with him. Mm-hmm. And she was just talking about physical connection and hugs and hand holding. So
listen here, man. I ain't gonna hold you. Raya, you confused me too. Because I'm hearing all this physical connection thing. You can't say physical connection and only be talking about hugs and hand holding with me. Mm-hmm. Like, you gotta be like, say hugs.
Yeah.
Say hand holding. You know what I mean? I'm gonna believe James on this, which is actually surprising. Mm-hmm. Because there's one way of how it's portrayed to us as the viewer, mm-hmm. but he was in that moment.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And if she wasn't clear, that's her fault.
And I do feel like during that conversation, Raya kept saying that she wants to be open to the full experience.
Yeah, like,
so I think that is what gave leeway to thinking like, okay, so she does want to have sex with me. She does want to do that. And that's when James was saying, well, I don't really want to cheat on Ryan because I had a terrible time after I cheated on her. So I think you're right. I think Raya wasn't completely clear.
Yeah.
And probably that's the summation of the conversation that he got, even if it may not have been correct.
Yeah, like, so I'm gonna go with James' analysis on this because he was in the moment, kind of, and even when I was watching, I was like, I kind of get what you're saying, but at the same time,
you're going back and forth.
It's easy for me to, like, if I wasn't emotionally intelligent in that moment as James was in that moment, mm-hmm. I wouldn't have been able to decipher. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He was like, hey, man, I'm going to be responsible to Ryan. You should be responsible to Trey. And I can understand how he came to that conclusion. Mm-hmm. And, you know, she calling Trey crying is like, okay, what's new?
And Alex, he's touching on his experience living with Roxanne and how she's challenging him.
Oh, my gosh.
And all of that type of stuff. And Antonio says, yeah, but, you know, her being strong-willed, it can also be overbearing at times. Mm-hmm. And Alex is saying, well, Antonio is pretty much asking him to be more specific about situations and experiences. Alex is being pretty vague. Okay. And Antonio was saying, like, look, like, I don't want you to be afraid to criticize me or to talk about what's going on. Like, say it plainly. And Trey is saying that when she sees how Roxanne has expressed to him when they were having their dates is that when Roxanne sees two driven people, that's the only way she can see a marriage, with two people kind of being bosses and doing their own thing. Other than that, she doesn't see marriage for herself.
Yeah, she's immature.
Yeah, and Antonio also expresses that he knows he's very selfish, that he doesn't think about others. Mm-hmm. He doesn't put others first. But he's also feeling that he shared everything about himself with Kat. He's laid everything out about his life, but doesn't feel that Kat is returning the same sentiment. And the guys are also talking about like emotional versus physical connections, like which one is more important. I think Alex is mentioning that he sometimes replaces the emotional with physical just because it's kind of easier. And Antonio is expressing like, you know, I haven't crossed any type of physical lines with Kat because I'm trying to connect emotionally, and it's actually harder to try to connect emotionally.
Yeah, especially if you're sleeping on the air mattress in the other room. But it's like you said, I don't think the whole structure of the show is going to be hard to connect emotionally to someone who you're in a trial marriage with.
Yeah.
Because it's not the person that you love, quote unquote. It's not the person. The whole point of the trial marriage is not for you to even build a strong connection with the person you're in a trial marriage with. It's for you to go back to your old partner and see where the holes and cracks are in your own relationship.
So you can fix it or get to stepping.
Exactly. So I don't even think like the reality is for you to build, like, you're not going to build a real emotional connection in 3 weeks. It's not real. You get what I'm saying?
Folks have, though. Folks have left their partner for someone new, but it didn't last.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's not real.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So don't fall for that trap. of like, oh, I have an emotional connection. No, like this is more for you to learn about yourself and learn about how you can fix. What can you bring back to your relationship that needs repairing or needs some type of fine tuning? You get what I'm saying? Falling in love with somebody new, that's just lust and it's not going to last long. It's just a hype of the week.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I can understand Antonio's point of view of saying like it's actually hard to build an emotional connection because that's not your girl.
Yeah.
Like of course it's going to be hard. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and Antonio asks Alex point blank period, do you see yourself more being with Roxanne or Kat? And Alex just doesn't have an answer for him.
No.
And then we move on to girls' night, and they talk about little things about living together, who's cleaner, what's your nighttime routine, and just kind of how that is meshing with the new person.
Okay.
And Roxanne is saying that Antonio really lacks planning ahead. Alex has all the qualities she's looking for. In this trial marriage, they've worked a lot and talked a lot about business, and she's open to hooking up with him and thinks Alex is as well.
To them hooking up with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, if I'm a guy, if you're open to it, well, okay. I mean, it is what it is.
But it's so odd to me, just Roxanne, all this business talk, and it's like really turning her on to Alex. And honestly, I don't feel like Alex has expressed much of anything to be very interested in, other than that he has a job.
Pretty much.
Whatever.
like
it's like I feel like she's filling in the gaps with what she wants versus what's actually presenting itself.
No, Alex is boring just like his girl Kat. That's why they use adventure to fill in their boringness with each other. But Roxanne, she likes what the image, a certain image that marriage can give.
Yeah, she talks a lot about the look of things.
Like, exactly. Yeah. Besides the reality of things. Like, you know, it looks like, you know, you working in your corner, you got your meeting, I got my meeting and things like that. Like, it's just, who's cooking? I'm hungry. You want something to eat? Who's cleaning? You get what I'm saying? Like who's talking?
Yeah.
You get more excited about me talking in these meetings besides us talking to each other.
Yeah.
And every time you talk about marriage, you talk about it as if it's a power couple, as if it's like the president and the first lady or just things of that level. It's like, no, like we're two regular people with this regular experience and we just need to work on our relationship.
Yeah.
Listen here, your business, your drive for business and your drive for passion. Your drive for business and the passion you have for that. If you could just transfer that over to your personal relationships, you probably would be as successful in your relationships as you are as a business person. Like that's all you have to do. Yeah. But it's like you said, I don't see the chemistry or even the romance between Alex and Roxanne. I think Roxanne is, like you said, filling the gaps of what she wants to see, but it's not there.
Right. And Raya, she's talking about how she feels that it's okay to not know kind of what you want as far as like if you want to be by yourself, if you want to be in the relationship, I think even career stuff. Like Raya, she's just in a very much I don't know what I want, I don't know where I'm going position. And she's saying it's okay. I don't think that shit is okay.
Why not?
I mean, I feel like you need some sort of direction. And I'm not saying you have to know 100% or even 50%, but give yourself somewhere to shoot for. So that way, if you shoot, you fail, you move to the next thing. Like, I just can't get with her just being like, I don't know, I'm in paralysis. I can't do nothing. And I'm just going to sit here until something comes upon me. Like, choose something and just see what happens.
That's fair.
So,
That's fair.
And she also is expressing that James hasn't been very talkative as much as he was at the beginning.
Of course
and
not.
She's not fully getting the experience because seems like he's pretty much checking out.
But here's the thing about it. Stop saying you're not getting the experience. You are experiencing something.
Yeah.
This is the experience. It's just your experience. What were you hoping to get? Sex? Like
a new boyfriend or something? Like that's what it seemed like.
Like this is the experience. Take from it and fix your relationship that you already have. So I don't know why she feel cheated by the experience.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. Like, you're not entitled to a good experience or the experience that you build in your head. You are going to get the experience that you get.
Yeah.
And you have to, like you said, pivot and do something about it. You know? But go ahead.
Yes. And then we have Ryan, who is saying that she, with James, that she just really wants to know that she's a priority for him. It scares her with Trey because she knows that he loves Raya, but she really does think he'll be a good husband one day. Raya's asking Ryan, you know, are you into Trey? Could you see yourself with him? And Ryan never answers that question completely. She just says he'll be a great husband one day.
I think Ryan did say, like, she could, though.
Oh, I think you're right.
Ryan
she said she's thought of it. Yeah.
Right. Like, come on, let's not lie on, like, you know, the white girl.
Yeah.
She did say she could see herself with Trey and things like that. I just don't believe her.
Yeah.
But she did say that she could see herself with Trey, and I think that's just being respectful because the relationship has been so easy between them two. They just, I think they are. Here's the thing about it, with them two, they are not learning nothing in their experience more than their partner is the problem. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think they going through it, and things are so easy that it's just highlighting how much of a problem their real relationships are. Because, like, we don't have nothing to work on with this trial marriage. We just been enjoying ourselves. Just by you being yourself, by me being myself. Even if there's something that is a stumbling block, we don't. You get what I'm saying? Like, we handle it. We talk like adults and stuff like that. So I think in Ryan and Trey experience, they learning that, oh, it's our partners. I've done everything I can to show that I'm open, as Ryan would say, and Trey is like, I'm just trying to marry the girl. Like, I know her in and outs of her situation better than anybody, and I still want to marry her. So yeah, I see it.
Yeah. So then we move on to some one-on-ones, and Trey and James are talking, and James opens up the conversation with saying Raya does not like to compromise, and it doesn't seem like she's in a position to get married. And he's not even necessarily talking about financial, career-wise. He's just saying mentally, she's just not in a partner mindset.
She's a child.
And Trey seems like he's ready. He seems like he has his things in order. And James is saying, don't settle or just kind of deal with Raya because she's here. You know, she doesn't have to be your choice.
She doesn't have to be.
And instead of Trey really addressing that, he kind of moves the focus over to James, which I understand because that's his lady. And he says, well, James, you've been with Ryan for 7 years. What is holding you back? Like, what is your issue?
That's a real... Because he's like, listen here, man, I only been with her for 7 days. And I'm ready to get down on one knee.
Exactly.
So, like, what is it? And what did James say?
He's saying that he's always felt like he needed a really good job. And also, Ryan is not his first love. He wasn't available to be, like, emotionally available and because of his past. And him not being completely open in his relationship is why he struggled. And Trey's saying when talking to Ryan, she feels like he prioritizes... she feels like he prioritizes other things before her, as far as James.
Okay.
And processing how he feels about Ryan because he is starting to feel feelings for Ryan, and he's being honest with James about that.
Talk about Trey.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. True.
Next conversation we have is Kat and Roxanne. Roxanne is saying that Alex is not a gentleman.
Okay.
And Antonio will set an alarm, you know, for her when she's out, when she's driving, because Kat is the nurse. So Roxanne is saying, like, does he wait, like, stay up for you when you get home? Is he checking on you when you're on the road? And Kat is like, no, not really. And Roxanne is just like, that's not good.
And this is, and she's talking about who?
She's talking about how Alex doesn't do that for Kat.
Okay. So they are talking about basically their experiences with the same guy.
Yeah.
But Antonio will go that extra mile and basically set an alarm, even though he's not in the same room with her?
Well, he say Roxanne's out of the house, or she's coming home from work, or she's not with him. He'll set an alarm to be awake when she gets home. Set an alarm when he knows he'll be leaving the function, so that way he's awake and available for her when she's driving home. But Alex is off to sleep and not worried about what Kat got going on and her safety.
Maybe Antonio is not lazy. Maybe Antonio is not a bum. Maybe he's a house husband.
Maybe so. Maybe his priority is his relationship, his family, and he could still work and bring in money, but his priority might not be financial.
Well, you don't bring in money if you're a house husband. So
true. So if you're a house husband, you're fully at home.
So my thing is, maybe you are, maybe Roxanne, maybe you don't even realize or attribute
his value,
how busy, not busy. You threw me off.
Sorry.
Maybe you don't attribute the success you have in business because you were free to work in business because you don't have another ambitious person. Maybe Antonio gives you that freedom by doing nothing, which is kind of crazy to say, to be you
fully,
and he just get in where he fits in. And maybe is really who you really need more than the latter.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Someone who's willing to set up an alarm just to be with you, because he ain't doing nothing for the rest of the day. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he set an alarm shows that he was asleep. You get what I'm saying? So maybe you don't see his value in that way, but you're so focused on only seeing it in one way that it's kind of messing up your view of him in reality. Maybe, because I'm not sold 100% on Antonio.
And Roxanne is saying that she always catches Alex in these little white lies. She brings up the thing about the pulling out chairs and the doors, and he just straight up lied to her parents. And she feels like with Alex, it's a constant front.
We don't get to see the real him?
Yeah. And Kat is saying, in response to Roxanne's questions, is that Alex does kind of put himself on a pedestal and he won't really talk about his issues. But Kat also thinks that maybe he just doesn't have any issues to talk about. Maybe his life just hasn't been that complicated. And Roxanne essentially just thinks Kat deserves so much more.
Damn.
Yeah. The thing about the constant front with Alex, I don't know if it's a constant front more than, okay, I see the little white lies type of thing, but I don't know if he's fronting per se. I think he's just not revealing himself, and you're getting this idea of him that's just not there. Like we talked about, you filling in the gaps where he doesn't show himself.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Alex is boring. Like he's just a regular. He's a regular guy. There's nothing that stands out. There's nothing big enough to stand out that is a positive, and there's nothing even big enough that stand out that's a negative. Like you can't even say oh he is a constant front because he got the white lies. Like nobody cares about these white lies.
Yeah.
Like about pulling out a chair and things like that. Like that's so minor, but nothing stands out about him.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like even him being ambitious, I think that's a little bit much.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I don't know if he's come across that way for real.
I think he comes off as if he got a job, yes, but ambitious, I don't know.
Yeah. Next, we have Antonio and Alex.
Uh-oh.
Dun, dun, dun. So, Ant wants... I wrote Ant. Antonio wants to know what Alex's parents thought of Roxanne. And Alex is being very vague and evasive in answering the questions. And he keeps saying, why are you asking me this? What does it matter? And Antonio is asking, are you here to break up with Kat or to leave here with Roxanne? Antonio's still dodging the questions, not being very clear. Alex is saying Roxanne is, he feels that Roxanne is, Alex, he eventually comes out because Antonio says look, you're not answering the questions. I need you to be direct with me. I don't know if you're trying to spare yourself or my feelings, but don't spare my feelings. I need it raw. And so Alex says, well, he feels that Roxanne doesn't respect Antonio and that you are her whipping boy. Roxanne says that he's a loser and he wouldn't be anywhere without Roxanne's help. And Antonio takes that information and thinks Alex is trying to break them up because he wants Roxanne to himself. And And so he's like, okay, you're saying that you feel as though that I'm her whipping boy. She doesn't respect me. But what did she say specifically?
Mm-hmm.
And Alex is just not being specific. I don't know what's up with Alex and just all this vagueness.
Yeah.
But some people do talk in circles and just feel like they said, like he said, I feel like I've said everything I could say. It's like, but you're not saying exactly what was said.
Do you have a problem with Alex during that situation?
I did, just because I prefer directness. I feel like he was direct in his, I guess, way that he felt that Roxanne felt about him. But he wasn't direct in how he felt about Roxanne, how he felt about Kat, and what exactly was said. So
I think he was direct. That's the thing about it. Like, the part that is important is not about if I'm here to be with Kat. Like, who cares? That's none of your business. Or how I feel about Roxanne. That's none of your business either. But I'm going to go with Alex on this.
Okay.
Only because Antonio exposed himself by saying multiple people said this before. This is not the first time that this has been brought up.
But he said it's been like because people have been trying to break them up. But I think that.
But he's saying the same thing about Alex, and I don't think Alex is doing that.
No, I don't think Alex is doing that.
So I can't even take that as facts because Alex is not trying to do that. I don't think Roxanne said Antonio is my whipping boy. Or what is the thing called? Whipping post boy or whatever? Whipping boy. I don't think Roxanne said that Antonio is my whipping boy. But I can get that perception based on how you talk about him.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter if like she didn't say that. No. So you're trying to find a caveat to hang on to be like, well, she didn't say that. Well, I'm telling you the perception, my opinion of what I feel like she feels about you. I feel like she doesn't respect you based off the conversations that we had, based on how she even talks about you.
Yeah.
Based on the little that we seen.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I think Antonio just didn't like what he heard. You get what I'm saying? Because I think he secretly knows that. And guess what? It hit a nerve. It hit a nerve, and I think we gonna see it in the next episode. We gonna see it more expand out and things like that.
Yeah.
But I think it hit something, and it automatically took him back to like, this is what this guy said, and this is what that guy said, and the same guys, but all of them wanted Roxanne. It's like maybe, but two things can be true. You get what I'm saying? I don't think Roxanne respect Antonio. Do you think Roxanne respects Antonio?
No. I don't think she does.
But do you think what Alex said was a little bit too much? Do you think like he's not a whipping post boy or like a whipping boy?
I honestly, how can I put it? Maybe Roxanne respects him as a person of just like the simple fact that you are a human being,
but
as a partner, and as someone who can help her in life, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it's like I have basic, decent human respect for you, but as you being my equal, no.
I think we gonna touch more on that next episode. Once we actually like get like in depth of like their conversation, because it doesn't end here.
No,
it doesn't end here. Is this the end of episode 5?
Yep.
Listen here, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to the content. We got more episodes of The Ultimatum coming up for you.
Yes.
And y'all be good for the rest of the week.
Bye.